Hello again and welcome to Lost Caverns of Ixalan draft. This time the rare is in the first pack, the ever-flowing well. A artifact divination basically, which also helps with descent stuff and has a pretty nice descent payoff, but it's descent 8 not 4, so that's gonna be hard to get. It's a thing worth considering in a weak pack. You might want to try to go with something like a blue-black descent or stuff like that. Now there's also a payoff for the caves, but it's so hard to draft the caves deck that I'm not gonna start with this as my first pick and then be miserable not getting caves or more cave payoffs. The Dawn Runner and the Kin Collar are good. This is a fairly weak pack, in fact. I actually, just to mix it up a little bit, I could just take the safe 3-drop here, either the white or green would work. But I'm gonna take the rare, not because it's 20 gems, but it's actually a very good descent deck card. It really is. Because it is usually a more controlling deck, so the divination is nice, and this being an artifact means that you can even craft this if you don't get to the descent 8, you can use this for something to craft. And yeah, the mill 2 and draw 2, that's two things you want to be doing. Alright, here are two very good options for the first pick. Actually 3, because I would want to have the Echo of Dusk and the Join the Dead, and of course the Chupacabra Echo. Yelling also fantastic 2-drop for any red deck, also for a little bit better even in a dino deck, but totally acceptable in a deck with no other dinos. And the cave-in, it would be the peak if I took the life-linking cave payoff from the first pack, so I guess it would have been a good start into a cave deck. But here I'm taking the Echo. In some decks the Join the Dead is just better because this is always at least -5, and you have to work a little bit to make this a significant effect, but this will be a 2-for-1. And the thing is that my first pick kind of works perfectly with the Chupacabra Echo. And then I see this pack. Oh man, I do understand blue being quite drafted because it is a very strong color in this set. By the way, it's about time that blue gets some shine, gets to be on the front stage, or how do you say, front row or something. Because blue has been bad in many formats. Well, at least not bad, but not the top color, and now it is one of the top colors. Anyway, its Quinth is just a very good card, but so is the Thrashing Brontodon. I understand not first picking this in a pack one, pick one. It's a 2-color card. It's really hurting me to see all this stuff. I'm not taking a blue or black card in here. I think I won't be taking the red and green card. I'll take the mono green card here because this is just a very good card regardless. The fact that you can destroy artifacts is very relevant in this format. This is just not a 3-4 that it has a sideboard effect tacked into it. It's actively good that your things can destroy artifacts. Many decks have artifacts worth destroying. Now this of course leaves me with kind of a 3. Well, this will take colors in here. I can go any direction here. And I think it's pretty... Well, there are two things I'm considering. First is just to take the defossilize and try to make it work. It's not that bad, that hard to make it work, especially with the land cycles. But what I really would be interested in is just forget about the green card from the previous pack and take the Cave Worm, which is very good payoff for the descent stuff. Now, I have seen this card come late so often that I'm actually taking... by the way, this is really good in certain decks, but I'm not taking it now. I'm taking the defossilize, which can also be very good in some decks. And I hope to get that 4-drop 2/5 with, which is a 4/5 when you have a descent 4, to get it back in pick number. It would be 13. It's really unlikely that the pick 4 comes back to you, but I think I still wanted to take the defossilize because this can also be a lot stronger card. This can be an actually very good card in the kind of decks that kind of make it work, and I have no reason to I can easily be the kind of deck. Now the question here is that I could take the Eaten by Piranhas. I do like it with the flash, I do think this card is nice. Also, it's kind of removal, it's permanent, goes to your graveyard. There's also the frog though. I should keep the option open to be black green, and the frog is better than the piranhas, I would say. So I'm taking this just to keep my options open. I would like to be blue black, but if I have to be black green, that's totally fine. And based on these things, although this actually works in the self-mill deck. You want to actually mill this card rather than cast it for 6. You mill this and then you have a free 4-mana card in your graveyard. That's nice. It would work there. But now that I'm really going with the... I think it might be more likely to be, at this stage, black-green than blue-black. And I'll take the Echo of Dusk. First of all, this does work with both if I still go to blue here. But the Mineshaft Spider, which is nice, is a 4-drop and this is a 2-drop. I need early drops. I can get the spiders later on. Glimpse the Core is not that interesting to me right now. Okay, Basking Capybara. Oh, and there is the Cave Worm as well. Now this is the kind of a decision point, because I would like to have this in my black-green Descent deck, and this in my blue-black Descent deck. Now, both work. Both have payoffs and enablers for the kind of stuff. Now I do like the Ever-Flowing Well, but I have a Poison Dart Frog and the Thrashing Brontodon here. I'll take the 2-drop, and I expect to be black-green from this point on, but I'm still willing to, of course, change course. Well, I get a fairly decent payoff for choosing the green there, because the Coldly Scavenger is definitely something you can make work in the kind of deck that, mills. But I do understand I have nothing that self-mills other than the Ever-Flowing Well, but there are some late drop self-mill cards that I assume to be getting, and now of course I will be really trying to make them. I mean, I'm picking those weak cards that have self-mill effects tagged to them. Greedy Freebooter would be one. This Gargantuan Leech is just not gonna happen, but I'm actually thinking about the Buried Treasure. Now this is an artifact, a permanent that goes to your graveyard early in the game, and later in the game you can just still get the value out of it. I'm actually taking it. I'm not sure if it's the... But I think this is the kind of deck that might really, care about this card. This is not a card that goes to any deck, but it's not completely unplayable. You will get the card out of it. It will just cost a lot, and sometimes you discover a 5 and get a 1 or 2 mana card, and that's not really the best use for your mana, but that's what the discover mechanic just does. It's pretty random. Alright, in the presence of the Aegis I wouldn't mind, but actually just take the land here. This is a free Descent enabler, which, is not a great land. I do think Evolving Wilds is the better version of this effect, but this is still what we have in this set, and it's just a free way to put stuff to your graveyard, which I'm really interested in at this point. I think still the Screaming Phantom is just a bad card. I'd much rather have the early blocker that actually can become into a fairly decent sized creature later in the game. Alright, so there is the Cave Worm that came back, which I hoped would be coming back at pick number 12. Well, I'm still taking in the presence of Aegis, because as you can see, I won't be playing blue right now. I can still take this in case I actually do play blue. Oh, look at this. I'm not surprised I've seen this thing go late, but this is exactly the kind of card I want to have in this deck. Alright, so there's not a lot of black, so there's also the possibility to go blue-green. But let's do one thing at a time. First of all, look at the blue cards. There's a Zoetic Cliff and there's a Waterwind Scout. Amazing first couple of cards. This is like I would say it's a mythic uncommon by now. And this video will, by the way, come out a fair bit later than when I'm recording this, but still, I've drafted this set many times by now, and the Glyph is insane. Council of Echoes would work in my deck, but I think I might still be black-green. There's also an upgrade. Well, by the way, the Glyph isn't good in this kind of a deck anyway, so I wouldn't pick this, but I'll take the Mythic Rare. Yeah, just completing the sets and yada yada, you know the drill. There's not actually anything that's that great in a black-green deck, and Even the good blue cards are not the best fits for this deck, in case I would end up being a blue-green, for instance, which is not impossible at this point. Well, some amazing blue cards in here. Now this is good in any blue deck. This doesn't really ask you anything, it's just a great card. But what is my pick in here? I mean, if I ignore black, I will lose the Chupacabra Echo Defossilize, unless I want to splash the Defossilize, and definitely the Echo Dusk. This can't be splashed, it's too pipped black card. I mean, these are good blue cards, especially the Ever-Flowing Well I wouldn't mind having. The Canonized in Blood this is gonna come back to me at pick 10. I'll take this, it's possible I will be blue. And I don't actually miss out on. I mean, I know there was the what's the final strike? I had this thing. It's not even that good of a card. It's like a mediocre removal. I don't think I ever have a green deck that says that I would say that I wish I had some final strikes in this deck. That just doesn't happen. It's not the greatest card. All right, so nice ones of these green something, the signpost uncommons, but no green blue, no green black in here. Tithing Blade, another chance is good, a Descent Enabler. I think I'm still trying to make the green black thing work, and even though this is not exactly the best card in the pack, it's a good card in a deck that wants to put stuff in your graveyard, so let's just take it and kind of what's a Wind Scout here. Also, this would be maybe even a better card in a Descent deck, because you get to mill a bunch of cards with the first ability, and then sometimes you just use this as a counter spell. Let's cut the blue for now. I think. Do I want to play the annoying Screaming Phantom? I'm almost taking the Tithing Blade or the Buried Treasure over it. You know about the Tithing Blade? This has some good. This is good against some decks, so I guess I'm just gonna take this. I really don't like a 3-mana 2/2. This deck is always gonna be like a defense focused, and this is really bad. And yeah, it does enable it somehow, but it's just too insignificant body. Okay, yeah, there are some. Look at the cards that would be going into a white deck or even the blue card in here is here. But these are all like almost first pickable. Well, I mean, the Clay Fight Bricks, the Reliquary thing, and the Cloud Guard are first pickable, and this is also first pickable. This is just a very good one drop. So yeah, I would say there are 4 first pick white cards in the pack. What I'm getting here, am I gonna get like a thing that goes to graveyard when it jump blocks? I get something. I could take another one of those. I'm just taking the freebooter here. Some early presence here. Wizards of Dread. Craft with 2 creatures. The thing about this is that I'm actually not that interested in crafting, especially with multiple permanents, because you want to craft always from the graveyard, not from the battlefield, and that would decrease my Descent count. It's a fine card, has a 2-mana hand disruption. Whiffs sometimes for sure, of course. I think I'll just take the Hidden Necropolis. These hidden lands are also gonna work for the Descent. Alright, how many of these I have seen? I have a feeling I have seen like 3 of these. I mean, this might be the 3rd one. It's a really good one also. Right, but it's not for me. I do need some things to bring back, but with the Defossilize and the Soul Coil Viper, I'm actually gonna just want to have some expensive things to bring back. Now, Capybara is here also. Another Buried Treasure, which could be picked, but I'll take the uncommon here. And it's not gonna be a Mephitic Drought deck. Now I'll take the treasure here, but I doubt I'm gonna play 2 of them. Malamet Veteran. This is kind of a decent card, and also something expensive. I have 1 frog, and maybe I will play one of the treasures. Yeah, there's a Hidden Nursery, of course, too. Just don't think this is necessarily the greatest thing. I'll just take the land. I feel like I prefer have the land here. Yeah, no one is taking the Bartolomes. Okay. If you descended counter, and then at some point, well, at 7 mana it becomes a thing. I mean, if can this be played? I don't think it's very good, but hey, I can give it a shot. There's the boulder, which is pickable, but I'd rather use the card that I barely ever use. This would be the first time I'm putting this card in my deck. I don't think it's good, but I wanna try it. And here I could take the Fortitude, but I think I'll just take the sideboard card. Like I said, it's very important to be able to get rid of artifacts. Alright, I'm taking this, but it's a shame I'm not black and white card here. Hey, what is this? So there's an Altec Cloud Guard. Pick 13. This is the pack that had great white cards, so I'm gonna pass it. I'll take the presence of the ages thing. Okay, sure. I'm gonna take a third one, but there were actually 3 of these, yeah, because I passed one of them. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna ever play 3 of these, but I still picked the on-color card in there. Yeah, this is not actually the strongest black-green descent deck. There's not even anything that sizable to bring back with the Defossilize or the Viper. Now I know I did pass the green uncommon 5-drop. Sorry, the common 5-drop. But I kind of want to have the the land cyclers, which I haven't seen. Alright, Grasping Shadows, Necrosage, maybe not for this deck. I still don't like this thing too much. Also, I don't want to play too many non-permanents in this kind of deck. Alright, let's take the Grasping Shadows. Fantastic white red rare here, by the way. Grasping Shadows it is. Poetic Ingenuity. This is potentially incredibly strong card. But you want to have like, I don't know, 12 artifact spells at least. But then this can really be good. It will still be a bad top deck later in the game, but can also just win you the game single-handedly if you play this on turn 3 and can trigger it on most turns. Right, another shot at the Visage of Dread. There is a Primordial Knower. It's not the most annoying thing to bring back. Although it's not so good with the Viper. This gives it finally the counter, and then this won't even trigger it the second time because it requires to go to graveyard. So I'm actually just taking the Scampering Surveyor here. Hoping to get, those things that usually come very late, those 6 and 7 drops, and now I got at least one of them, and I'm just taking the Spiketail, because I was looking for these land cyclers for 2 reasons. I have 2 ways to get them back, especially with the Viper, they come very cheap, and then these 2 descent things, because they go to graveyard and are permanents, and they go very cheaply, while getting you a thing. So yeah, Spiketail is easily here. Someone is gonna get a Captain Storm, and I wish I would get like a late pick black and green, the descent focused uncommon. I have a hard time believing anyone else would be black green in this draft table, but it's just so that no one is opening that card. So what can you do? Alright, I think I'll take the Kingcaller. Do I have any dinos? Like 2 other. What were... this is the one... Oh, and then the Brontodon, which I picked very early. Alright, the dino is... I mean, you don't have to gain life. This is just an acceptable 3-drop in a deck that, maybe looks to get to the late game, and this will want to do that. Yeah, Lawkeeper is not for this deck. Okay, I think this would be the 4th Bartolome. Now, these things are, of course, legendary, but these also quite often die, so you don't mind having multiples. Because the combination with stuff like Mephitic Drought, and there are some other things too, it can be real sweet. I have had a black and white deck a couple of times. I don't know if either of those got recorded, but Bartolome was in those decks, and it's really good. But anyway, you can do stuff like the Glorifier of Suffering, sacrificing the Drought. The Drought is very nice. Alright, Kingcaller is the only really option, because this deck won't be sacrificing that, so it's not that great as a 2-mana draw cantrip. Alright, Marionette is of course a great card in this kind of deck, but I'm really worried that I don't have the late game stuff I wanted. Maybe I was supposed to take a 6-mana 7/7 at some point, but oh well. Well, there's a Ghost Stalker, there is a Leech when I have like 3 caves and then 1 card that becomes a cave. I don't think I have the kind of fodder to sacrifice for this thing. I'm actually taking the leech because I might self-mill this and then bring it back with something like a Spiketail, and I could see going into a little later game. And I have, some caves. This can be a 7-drop or a 6-drop. And the caves that get milled also matter. It doesn't matter if they are on the battlefield or on the, in the graveyard. So yeah, I guess I got, with the Marionette number 2, I got some things to synergize with here. Now I have a lot of cuts to make. I just don't think I will play the final strike. I have a very, very few removal spells, but I also want to minimize the amount of instants and sorceries in here. So I actually take the Fungal Fortitude, which, is a kind of a trick, but it's a permanent based trick with, the Descent stuff cares about that. Alright, I can take the Boulder now. This might be the kind of removal I'm actually going to run here. And here we have some, well, I don't need like a fifth of these. Or fourth, whatever, I'll take the Goblin. I mean, I can definitely make these triggers happen. Acolyte of Aklazots is not good here. I'll take the uncommon, which I'm very unlikely to sideboard in. Look at this, I'm just randomly picking 3 Bartholomews here. not drafting black and white, but no one else is drafting them either, so that's why they come late. Alright. Now I have a bunch of black cards, but I don't have like a dead weight. I got one of the good instant removal spells, it was my pick 2, I believe, wasn't it? Because my pick 1 was my pick 1 was the Ever-Flowing Well from a somewhat weak pack. Anyway, I had to make a decision there to take the Echo, Chupacabra Echo, or the 3 mana -5/-5 or -10/-10 with Descent 4. And after doing that, making that choice, I never got that removal again. And I also did not get dead weights, which are also permanent based removals, so somewhat nice. And I didn't even get like a second Mineshaft Spider. So somehow I feel like my colors were cut a bit, especially because I did pass some great white and blue cards. I don't recall passing any great red cards. I mean, later in the draft, I mean, of course I can open like an upgrade and pass it, but I didn't get past any red, so I think red was quite drafted in this table maybe, unless I'm totally forgetting something. But yeah, let's just do some cuts. Freebooter here. One of the treasures easily is gonna be cut. I have such a low amount of removal that maybe I'm going to play this in the main. I could also use it as a sideboard card, because what is miserable is that the opponent plays like a Tinker's Toad or one of the many 1-drops, and then they just sacrifice that. So I'm actually going to leave it as a sideboard card, given that I have many cuts to make. Let's see how many mill cards do I have. That's not exactly. Yeah, okay. Also put graveyard. So that was like what, 4 cards that straight up mill. Let's see if this finds me anything else. No, it's in the presence of ages. So actually that is total of 6 cards that mill, and also the rampaging Spiketail and the Boulder can go to my graveyard, and the treasure, the buried treasure. Yep, creature count is 17, but of course I will be cutting something. I do like the Grasping Shadow, so I'm going to play that. I'm gonna play the Leech also. I mean, it can even be an 8-drop, but it can be a 7-drop, and especially it can be a card that gets milled. And then I have two cards to get it back for cheap. And also, this deck is really lacking the late game. If I had like the couple of more of these land cyclers, I would, consider maybe not playing the Leech. Yeah, but that's not what I got there. Okay, so I'm kind of wanting to test the Buried Treasure. It's also a card I haven't I played. And actually, I do recall now. I think I had a black and white a deck uploaded at some point. So you have seen me do the kind of sacrifice synergy because it had a couple of those. Well, Ichor Wellspring, black versions of them. Right now, what is the most useless card in here? I think it's the Canonized in Blood. Now, if you descend it, get a +1/+1 counter. Now, I have a few ways to descend, but the +1/+1 counters, they are not maybe the greatest payoffs of all time, and this 7 mana ability seems like underwhelming. Yes, it is a 4 power flyer, but it has only like 3 toughness. It's not like it's gonna dominate the board once you hit 7. Because you can compare this to some like the green craft thing. There's a thing that becomes like a 7/7 for 7 mana, or then there's the the white artifact that fetches your planes, and then at 7 mana it becomes a glorious anthem, pumping your team +1/+1 and making 2 1/1s in the process, basically becoming a 2/2s right away. That's the kind of stuff you want to do at 7 mana, not get a 4/3 thing. So I'm gonna at least cut it from the main deck, even though I'd said during the draft that this is the kind of deck that might, consider playing it. But I got so many playables here that I don't need to play such kind of a card. I also think that this might be a 16 land deck, because this is land cycler, this is just mana, this thing taps for mana, these things get me lands. I'm definitely playing 16. I also have the Surveyor, which is gonna function as basically as a 17th land for my 5+ drops. So only one more cut. I do like the Fortitude. There's not a lot of synergy for it, but there's some. Chupacabra Echo being the best one, and also I guess the Coty Scavenger is really nice when you have the descent up. Yeah, I'm not going to cut any of the expensive things, even the Runaway Boulder. Well, that leaves me with a kind of a tough choice here. I will play also the Another Chance. So I guess the only... Okay, I have one sorcery which is... well, the instants are things that fill my graveyard anyway. So yeah, these don't, contribute to descent, but they, still help with that, with the effect. But the card itself doesn't contribute. So let's say this gets milled with the Marionette, then it doesn't do anything. But if I get to cast them, yeah, they will give me permanents to my graveyard. But yeah, what's the sorcery here? Oh yeah, it's the defossilize, which is kind of, negative synergy in a sense that, and just like with the Soulcall Viper, they bring stuff back from my graveyard. But the point is that once you have hit the Descent 4, for instance, you don't care about... Well, this thing cares about having larger values, but anyhow. These are still synergizing with my deck because, I can bring back things that I self-mill. Right, so one more card. It could be the Fortitude, it could be the Buried Treasure, but I'm somehow just feeling like I want to try this thing. Is that gonna make any sense? Because I have not really a lot to ramp to. Now, another sweet thing about this thing is that if you mill this, it's just value, you didn't have to use a draw step for it, and then it's in your graveyard and you can do the Discover 5. Now this deck can just discover into, it will most likely discover into 2 or 3 drops, but it's still a free thing to do. So I guess I'm gonna keep it because I do have ways to bring it. There was 4 mill cards and then in the presence of ages. Yeah. But what I'm gonna cut then? This is very long. Now this is just a decent payoff, and so are the capybaras. This is incredibly difficult because I feel like it's a kin caller. Let's check the creature curve first. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Although I don't really want to play the scavenger until later on. But I'm not gonna cut the 2 drops. The Grasping Shadows also isn't kinda doing anything for my deck, but it still is a nice card. I want to have it. In a longer game, you will draw 3 cards from this thing. Okay. I mean, I like the kin color also for the reason that it helps the other kin color. You know, having 4 dinos is better than 3 when you're playing these. But these are the least like a synergistic cards in here. So let's just forget about the gain 3. And of course, this can still make me gain 3, but it's less likely now. But I don't actually need the 3-drop here. So that is the reasonable cut. It's just seems so bad just to have like one kin color in your deck and another one in the sideboard, but that's my decision here. This is not about getting life from these things, but it's about doing some graveyard stuff, and this is the main deck. Missing just the lands in here, and I think it's a pretty even setup here. Yeah. So add lands, and I will make one card here. I have more black. I have a double caster black, also double caster green, and this can get me a swamp actually. So yep, I should easily cut a swamp for that reason. Also a green card that can produce black, but needs green to be played. Alright, so this is the main deck. Sideboard options being mostly like an over the edge, and pretty much that's it. Also, Tithing Blade can be actually amazing against some kind of decks, and if I need to have some early defenses, I can play the Freebooter and the second kin color, and that's, I believe, about it. Alright. I have 2 ways to bring stuff back from my graveyard. I'm keeping this. Opponent mulligans, I'm on the draw, but I have the buried treasure on turn 2, this on turn 3, and maybe I can accelerate into something. Ideally I get the... Well, that's not a bad draw, because that can put something in my graveyard that the Soul Coil Viper can immediately bring back. Okay, I don't need the buried treasure, I can just play the Capybara here. So they are playing black and red, but no 2-drops. They did mulligan, so they maybe have a... That could be dangerous. I have one main deck answer to this and one in the sideboard. The Brontodon in the main deck, and then the sorcery in the sideboard. Now I have to... This is gonna clock me, because when this becomes a land, they just get so much value. Once per turn they get to discover by just using this land. It's amazing. So I need to win before that happens. So let's do the Soul Coil Viper now, so that it's ready to be used. Now it does require black mana, but I might get a swamp with this thing. This can allow me to put a land and a creature from top 4. This is an activate as a sorcery, so I might need to main phase this, but if I just draw a land, I might go for the Grasping Shadows, because I want to get this thing online. And let's see if they're gonna descend. When this has 3 or more, now it also has 1, because it has an ability that kind of makes it fairly sure that you can just get the first counter, but after 2 more descents, this thing becomes a land, and it will be horrible. Okay, no descending this turn. I got a land, but a tapped one. Now I could go slowly, doing the treasure and the necropolis right now. I could also attack with the Capybara and just use the Fungal Fortitude if they block, and I will do that. Let's actually check that first. If that's gonna happen, I mean. It's kind of a free attack, because I won't die if they block. They didn't go for that. Understandably, they do want to mill a card, or ideally a permanent card. Yeah, well, now that I attack with this thing, there's no reason to do anything else than just play this thing end of turn. And I might be killed by this thing. I don't even have the 5 mana sorcery, because that's actually, the black 5 mana sorcery. Let's see what's the... Okay, it's a permanent. The black 5 mana sorcery says that exile a creature, a vehicle, or a non-basic land. So you can actually use it to get rid of these lands that now these things that transform into lands. But now let's see what this needs to hit something good. Okay, Thrashing Brontodon. I need the mana for it though. Buried Treasure. Do I have the mana for it with the swamp? I play Buried Treasure. I think I'm exactly gonna have it. Alright, well, I'm taking the swamp. I need the land and this. I sadly won't mill a non-permanent, but oh well. I can get like the spider later on back if I really want to, but what is really important here is to also, there's also this, but next turn this might flip. That is unacceptable. This activation doesn't cost green. So unless I'm mistaken, I can play the Buried Treasure, yes. And then I have exactly the mana, because this will produce me mana. Alright. So, I mean, I need to kill this brass thing. I mean, I don't need to kill it on my turn, but I need to have mana up for it. But I can now cast this, and I have the swamp up. No reason to attack into the 3-3 here, that's just... Now the priority is to get rid of the brass thing. So this will be cast, and now I can use it to... In response to this. I can block and kill or something, although this thing has menace, but... Anyway, not gonna attack or anything. This mana is totally reserved for me to kill the Tunnel Grinder. I'm really happy I got this, because this game would have been very difficult to navigate if they have this land up. So that was a permanent, so now let's see if I'm going to double block the Skull Taker with these two guys. I mean, there's no point. They can't kill the Brontodon with it. So actually what I am gonna do is I'm gonna double block it here, and then if they do something that would, you know, I mean, this is just very good for me. I know I could put all three there too. Is that what I'm supposed to make? They would kill the Viper most likely, but I'm actually willing to trade with the Viper. I don't really need the ability, because I am already having enough mana to cast my stuff. So I'm gonna do it like this and see what happens. Although it's quite tempting to use the Brant. Let's say if they give this +2 and +0 and first strike. What's happening then? They will kill the Brontodon. That would be bad actually. I mean, if I triple block. Yeah, if I triple block and they get this +2, +0 and first strike, then I'm in a bad shape, because they would try to kill the Brontodon, but I have to blow this up. And then the first strike deals with, you know, the Viper, and then this will survive. So I'm gonna do it like this. I will let the Capybara go. And if they don't do anything, well, then their Skull Taker is gonna trade with the Capybara, and that's great for me. But yeah, the first strike trick is the problem here, so... Okay, look, they actually use an upgrade there. Sure. I mean, yeah, they get to... I mean, they lose still 2 cards, I lose 2 cards. This is great. I got rid of an upgrade here. That's so fantastic. Yeah, I know the Capybara is gonna go, but it doesn't matter. Basically, my upgrade traded with, you know, the Capybara. That's what I can say. And then my, you know, Brontodon killed this thing. Now this thing is super annoying now that they have they will get to draw a card. But it's fine, I guess. So, and I have the Fungal Fortitude in here, and I can bring something back. But remember, if you bring something back with this, it will have a finality counter. So playing a Fungal Fortitude on that would be a mistake. Let's play the land, because I'm gonna probably need to play my lands. 6 mana. If I bring back the spider, then I will have 5 mana. The problem is I can't really cast anything here. I might be better off using the Fortitude on the Soul Coil Viper. Just I mean, I don't have to use this. Maybe I defossilize something. Okay. Because, you know, I have to do something. I'm running out of time here. Capybara goes there. And King Color, I can keep it. Okay, I'm gonna decline this, and then I'm gonna use this to get the Brontodon, because I know this might have been a mistake because this is not the greatest thing on Earth, but I needed to have a blocker on this thing, and this at least has 4 toughness, so maybe this is gonna work. And of course the spider can block the flyer, but they had sadly a kill on that, and now, well, that's actually just fantastic for them. They draw a card in there, and I have to. They will. Yeah, this sequence they had, and they have this thing as a 5/5 now. And they still have 2 cards in their hand, of course, because they drew a card there. They still have a 2 hidden lands in here. I'm not beating this evasion they have here. Not with the stuff I have. I'm gonna go to 3 here. I thought I had good stuff in here, but they just, I mean, this maybe it just shows that when you don't have removal, I mean, do I need to at least final strikes now? This thing it just can become enormous, because a 5/5 menace, that's like a really expensive card. You won't even get a 5 mana 5/5 menace. Okay, they have this rat effect too. They have 9 power of unblockables. Yeah, the fact they had the kill spell on the spider, that's what made it so that it was basically impossible for me to continue. And I don't have, you know what is great against the 3 mana 2/2 dead weight. One of the reasons I hate this card, kind of, because this, well, not hate, but I consider it very weak because it gets killed by dead weight, and the torch that red has, it's just so fragile and doesn't really do much. Even if you get to attack with it, it's not like it's gonna give you a huge advantage. Milling a card is not good. I would like it was like a, you may mill 2 cards, because if it always forced milling 2, that could be bad, but you know, 1 attack doesn't do much here. But of course that was good for them now. I will need to over the edge here. It's just how it's gonna go. What else do I need here? I need to cut something. Tithing blade. Based on what I saw, I could use a tithing blade here. Now I need some cuts, of course. How about the kin collar? I don't think I can afford to play the kin collar. The runaway boulder might not be needed here though. I could also cut the buried treasure, but I also kind of want to blade my own goblin here. Fortitude. It works against the removal, I saw. I need to keep the terror tide in mind. Yeah, they just have they have a dead weight upgrade, rumbling rock slide. Well, I don't have that removal. Cut a card. What card it is? Maybe just the treasure. I don't know why I insist doing this, but I guess the treasure is just the worst card here. So let's do this. Yeah, because I had a just very good curve there. I used mana on like all the turns, but I had no chance there. They just had better stuff. Okay, there is the frog, which I kind of needed to cast the Brontodon. Although I'm gonna cast the Surveyor, which is gonna get me the green cave. Then my, you know, the life linking thing, the leech, would actually be a 6 mana card already. That's not a bad one, but I do need the second green one side. Because I have a feeling this frog is gonna die. I guess I can kill this for free. You don't really want this thing to die when they have 4 mana up. Okay, Phantom. Well, they are offering the trade now, but sadly, if this goes to my graveyard, the Echo is still not good enough, but the Mine Shaft Spider will be blocking this thing. I think I still should do this just to... Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't want this to be around when they have the 4 mana up, it's just value for them. Now I have 6 mana in here. I could play the Brontodon and another chance. The thing about that is that I would need to mill a creature card, so it's safer just to not do that. And I'm actually going to attack here because I can make these have death touch. Because if I play the spider, there's nothing I can do with the mana anyway, other than actually, yeah, I can give this death touch. If they kill this with the rumbling rock slide, I can give it. Then they don't have mana to equip. Then I can, yeah, okay, the 1 damage is not going to be worth it. I can kill and give it. What key? Okay, let's mill first. Okay, I can block with the reach frog, and then after blocks but before damage, I can use its own mana to give it death touch. So I have 2 reach guys, both which will kill the phantom. Yeah, just attacking with this would only deal 1 damage, which, you know, could matter, but also I'd rather maybe them not get any mills. I saw them have, you know, ways that care about. They have cards that care about descent. Both descent count something and, you know, descending. So I want them to not have a good attack here. Now this echo is of course great after milling a couple of permanents. And with another chance I can get back the Viper and either of these. Okay, there is that, but I have the Brontodon, it's going to be needed. Okay, now it's actually card disadvantage because they discard cards and they draw that many +1, so this always cantrips. It is well, they can't attack with that guy. So I mean, me using the Brontodon to kill this is going to mean that I lose a card, but it's the better outcome of the two. Alright, Echo is, I mean, this doesn't need to be killed right now. I can do this. I just hope they don't have the discard effect, you know, the thing that I passed a couple of times in the draft. But yeah, let's just do the easy thing, which is kill this, play the Capybara, and attack. Try to raise. But yeah, if they're gonna descend on the next turn, I'm gonna have to play this Brontodon here. But it seems like they have no intention of descending. Now I can still, I mean, I can give myself an instant. And the Capybara can become a 4/3 once I sack the Brontodon. So I'm actually gonna do this, but I will also leave up mana here, maybe. Yeah, if I give this death touch, then I don't have mana to use the Brontodon. So let's just do this attack and hope they miss out on the. I mean, they are not gonna miss out the trick here. Oh, they actually chose to do that. Okay, well, I don't mind this trade happening at all. Wow. Because this would have drawn them a card. Now they can rat the board. They didn't have the rat the board effect. I have to keep in mind that they have the -X thing. But they're down to 1 card. And I'm winning this race easily. Also, let's see their descent count. Let's see their descent count, because this 5/6 might survive the rat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it will not survive the rat. Well, I have another chance in here. So I'm going to just I mean, if they have the rat, I think if they had it, they would have played it, so they have to draw it. But let's go with this thing now. I'm gonna at least make them draw it very quickly. And then I can restock with another chance, and I have also 2 of these hidden lands here, which will help me having access to more gas. This is a very different game from the first one. Let's hope they are not going to attack, because if they attack, that means they have the rat effect. Yeah. Oh well. Especially if this goes to my face. No, it's not that. Right. That's a lot better than. They can 2 for 1 themselves to kill that. They still die here, because this is 6 damage. They can make this into an equipment that doesn't do anything. So So let's go, no need to show them any further cards. They did all that and then conceded, because why not? Okay, well, that was totally a different game, where I barely took any damage. So yeah, this over the edge, I need this to kill the annoying brass tunnels grinder. Now this wouldn't be such a big problem if I played an aggro deck, but my deck is not a quick winner, so the opponent will have time to get that thing transformed, and that's just gonna spell doom for me. It's not a card I can afford to stick around as a land. Alright, so what do I mean, at first I just got beaten. Now I had no pressure from them whatsoever. I'm kind of feeling like, do I need all these? I mean, how about the Tithing Blade? Is there still some reason to not play it? No, it is fine against every creature they have. They don't have like a creature that I would hate them to be able to sack to the Tithing Blade. So I'm going to still keep it, because my lack of removal is, kind of bad here, for sure. Okay. Don't care about this, it's too... I think this could be just like a bigger token or something, but oh well. I mean, I'm not going to cut any of the top end. Do I want to play like another In the Presence of Ages? I don't think that's making sense. And I'm also on the draw now. I need to be defensive early. So let's just do this. Same deck, same sideboarding, and I guess I have to hope that they don't repeat the game one. Okay. Okay, this is fine. They mulligan. I know the Grasping Shadows might be a card I should consider siding out, but I don't really have any big impact cards. Alright, that's a nice one too. Not any big impact cards to side into. Oh, I get they have no 2-drop. Oh, unless they have like a removal. But I wouldn't mind this dying, because that means the echo is, effect scales nicely. Alright, I don't think they're gonna block here, but it would be great if they did. I'll play my own Skull Taker, and then on the next turn I can play the Grasping Shadows. Now this only works with when one attacks. Alright, that thing... Ooh, I have actually 2 caves, and I have not a lot of them in the deck. Lucky me. This will be a 6-drop. And if I get to flip this, it could be even a 5-drop, but I mean, that's gonna be a... It's gonna take some time to flip that. Now, I won't be blocking either of these. I feel I should... I mean, I'm not gonna play this at 0 effect. So, I mean, I will gain some life here, so there's at least that. But I'm taking 6 on the next turn, at the minimum. And it will take 2 turns to get... Okay, well that dies. Now that scales this thing once. But still, I can't block the Menace guy. I can attack for 2 here though. That is... I mean, I want to get counters here. This Promising Vein is... Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I hate to draw the land, because it means I have no play for this turn. And I'm taking too much damage here now. Now this can give this, x, the x equals 2, but that's sadly not enough. I mean, it's enough, the 2, but what is not enough is the mana I have left over. I have only 3 mana left over. Yeah, if this was an Evolving Wilds, it would be much better. I'm taking an annoying amount of damage here. Now I have this 5/5 coming up, so if they don't have a Rumbling Rock Slide, I will be in a fine shape. Or they could have some other removal too, like the -5, -5. But the fact I missed this play on this turn, and yes, I know there was a world, there was a possibility to just play this and block the Mycoid, But I don't think that's a kind of way to win. They have a nice combination with the Akla shots. Well, I guess it's not that nice because this only, you know, it's not that nice because they can always sack this, which is, you know, gonna be relevant here, by the way. Let's see. I'm gonna get a forest because I have a green cave here. Might actually have to kill this because they can exile a bunch of these, and that's gonna hurt my deck a lot. Let's first see what happens when I attack. If I'm very lucky, they will block with the Conservator. They don't have 4 mana up right now. But they are never gonna do that. By the way, this Leech becomes, in fact, a cheaper spell now. Because this is a cave. Am I gonna use that cave pre-combat? I mean right now, I mean. Because whatever I'm gonna do on this turn is gonna... I can only play the Leech or the Echo. And I have mana for both. Even if I use this. I think it makes sense. I'm gonna do this right now, just in case something changes how I'm gonna do, before I let them go to blocks. Alright, not the worst. Alright. So I really hate them being able to exile stuff. This is a sorcery speed activation, you know, the exile up to 4. It's really bad. They would also exile this land, which makes that Leech cheaper. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna play this and just kill the Conservator. What I would actually want to do is kill the Skulltaker or the Mycode I can't kill, but I have to do this. So let's do that. Now I still can't block the Skulltaker, but at least I can block the Mycode. Please don't kill the Echo. They could... Okay, they didn't go for the trades. I guess it's pretty good to have this around because it, you know, does combine with the Acolyte quite nicely. But now I will just... I don't mind losing some life here because I have this life linker here. The land there was horrible draw, but... Oh well. Hey, there's the Fortitude. Now that's pretty good stuff for many of my things. The only sad thing in here is that I cannot actually play this and have the Fortitude up. Now what I could do is I could attack with the Echo. They block with the Akla Zods. Then I use the Fortitude. But problem is then I don't play the Leech. I think I'm just gonna play the Leech, hope that they don't get removal on this turn cycle. And then if I can untap with the Gargantuan Leech with Fungal Fortitude up, I'm going to win the game. Okay, I think I'm gonna win the game now. I'm gonna play the in the presence of Aegis right now because this might become, you know, a... I'm just thinking about the lands. I have a forests to drop here, so this might need... I mean, I can have another forest steel blade. I'm not sure. I'm gonna do this because I need black mana for this and this activation. If you know, those are the things I'm gonna plan to be doing. Okay, land and a creature. Well, the Scavenger and Necropolis. This is great, actually. This is fantastic. The Scavenger is gonna do work. Alright. This go to my hand. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Mostly because I have the Fungal Fortitude. That's gonna help me here immensely. This is sack another creature. Alright. There's no reason to do anything right now. I'll just do the attacks. I will leave the Echo to block, but of course gaining the 8 life here, that will... I mean, I go to 15 now unless they have a way here to somehow... Okay, yeah, this sounds very nice. They're gonna sack the Skulltaker, so I don't actually gain life from this. But now I have the option to use the Fortitude on this thing, which I think I'm gonna do. I'm still gonna... There's a chance they have a... No, I'm gonna do it. If they have a removal, then they at least have to use it. But now I get to kill the thing and I get still 5 life in here. And what I can do here is just play the code to Coat this scavenger getting me any permanent? And that would have been... yeah, I understand them conceding there. I mean, the Skull Taker, and then I played Necropolis. I think I would have played the Skull Taker just to, you know, maximize my board presence now that I'm clearly winning here. No, don't forget about the Wrath effect they might draw. Although they had only 3 permanents there. So that actually wouldn't have killed the 5/5. But yeah, I would have needed to. I mean, this board presence here is enough to win. So maybe we should have just, you know, keep drawing cards and keeping gas in my hand. So playing this would have been a mistake, I would say, because they could top deck the Wrath. There's no reason to do that risk. Although this thing comes back because it has the Fortitude. That's the nice thing about this enchantment-based trick here. Because normally these effects are instant, but now you can just play this. If it doesn't immediately die, the effect of course persists. So if they rat the board, this will come back. Alright. I'm on the draw, but this is a totally givable hand here. 2 lands. I have the Poison Dart Frog, which might die. But I have a Buried Treasure, which gives me mana, and of course this gives me mana with a delay. Again, imagine if this was a Evolving Wilds, and I would just crack it and have both colors available. Now this is of course, you know, better when you don't have it in your starting hand, because then you might need the mana immediately. So it's an untapped source of colorless mana. But even then, it's not that great necessarily. Alright, so they have a Brontodon here. They have this creature land, which I don't like seeing at all. I have 3 mana here up, which is a bit of an awkward amount. I don't have a land drop for this turn, so I might just need to do this now. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do this now, just to get the land drop. Swamp and a Capybara. Alright, I got the swamp there that way too. And of course, with these marionettes, I'm going to hit the... Oh, that's actually not the worst when I have a Death Touchers here. But yeah, that's a nasty card to deal with. But yeah, I'm gonna hit my Descent quite easily. Descent 4, I mean. But still not a naturally drawn land. But I will play this and the Capybara, I would believe. Or maybe it's just better to play 2 of these. Okay, I didn't even hit the Descent. Oh, I did. The Hidden Nursery was the other one. Alright, alright. Anyway, let's just play both of these. Because of course. And I keep milling here. You know, I might get something juicy for the Viper here. But yes, the Tortoise. Fabrication Foundry, I don't care about this too much. Yeah, they have no good attacks. I have these measly 1/1s, but they will poison these guys and they will die if they get dealt damage there. So it must be annoying to play this early 6/6 and then not having a good attack with it. Alright. Okay, a lifelinker. Still not a naturally drawn land, but don't get me wrong, I don't need it right now. I have a decent hand here. By the way, the boulder deals 6. If I at some point need to kill this, I can. I just need the lands for it first. But now I keep, you know, playing my stuff. There's no reason not to use my mana efficiently here, and the frog doing some pretty awesome work here. I really need it. So now that on their turn, by the way, their creatures have hexproof, but it's not like I'm gonna target them on. Well, I guess I could target with this, but let's not make the mistake of passing. If I ever get to 6 mana. So they can make that into a 4/2. Now they can sacrifice another creature or an artifact to keep this thing alive. I don't think there's really any reason for me to... You know, I don't need the 4/3 particularly for anything. I like the life gainer, although I don't necessarily need life, and this 3/3 isn't great against this 3/4. Alright, so I'm gonna trade this with the Fabrication Foundry first. I just need to wear them off. I do have another chance here, for instance. I can get stuff back from the graveyard. I get 3 life here for my troubles as well. And here I have a defossilize, so I haven't actually drawn any lands. I kept these 2, and this swamp I got from the In the Presence of Ages. I can't use my mana super efficiently right now unless I go with the Buried Treasure and a 3-drop. You know, that gives me the Skull Taker. That gives the Skull Taker a +1/+1 counter. It seems a little bit awkward though to crack the treasure, because this could be important to deal with the tortoise. But then again, yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to save this for that boulder. Let's have this Viper here for... I don't know if it's even that good, but it's now there. I can actually... You know what I can actually do? I can just block with the Viper on the Vanguard of the Rose, and they will sack the Deconstruction Hammer unless they play some other. They have the creature land, but I mean, it's not really good against my Death Toucher. These marionettes, they are just amazing. Yeah, this Viper can just block here. I don't care about its ability. I have a defossilize to get something back, and alright, a land. Now that I have 5 mana naturally, I can do a this thing and a Buried Treasure. And then on the next turn I can, you know, try the boulder. The problem, of course, with the boulder is that they have still 2 cards I don't know about. I would hate them to have a pump spell to save the tortoise. But the thing is that my Capybara can actually attack into that Prontodon. So I could progress here if I was able to kill the tortoise, because this will be a 6, effectively a 6/6. Right, they have that thing. Okay, well, I guess I'm happy. Oh, I got the Echo too, because now they are tapped out, and I can kill the tortoise. Also, this makes this deal 5 in the air. Now, I could use either of these. I might actually do the boulder thing, because if I use the treasure, that means I can get a counter here, which might matter. And this is a little bit more awkward as a 6-drop. So let's use this now. 6 damage to this guy here, and now it's a decision. Well, I can't attack right now because they have good blocks. I could attack with 1 Death Toucher if I really want to, because they don't have really that scary ground force anymore. So I'm gonna attack with this. If they want to block with the Vanguard of the Rose, I don't mind. I still need to keep in mind they have the, you know, the Restless Prairie, so I don't want to be completely pants down in here. But I would assume they will use the Hidden Nursery before starting to attack with the creature land. They have still 3 cards in hand though. Well, 2 at least. I mean, at least one of them was a land, so that's only 2 now. So are they gonna pass the turn or use the hidden that thing? I would assume they're gonna go for the discover here. That's what they did. And they got another Thrashing Bronze. So they have multiples of those. It's not particularly, you know, useful against my deck. And now I can use my Echo, and then when it dies I can bring it back a couple of times. That's sweet. Now I should attack here a little bit at least. Also have these up. 16 cards in the deck, but I don't have a lot of self-mill. This thing, it says you may mill. I don't even have to mill there. Now it's time to just attack with the Capybara and the Death, because they don't know I'm gonna kill the Sandwing here. And I wouldn't mind. I mean, they might block with multiple things. It's kind of a waste for the Skull Taker. It only gets 1 per turn. You know, maybe I'll leave like 1 marionette. Let's do it like this. Fine. I would assume they block maybe 1 of them. 3-1 on the Capybara seems reasonable. I get my Skull Taker thing, and now of course play this and give -10 to the Sandwing. And suddenly I am in a very decent shape. but they do have these spells. But then again, I have two. The Sunscribe is exactly the kind of a spell I want them to keep drawing because it does actually nothing. Alright, Spike Tail. Giving the Skull Taker +2/+0. That doesn't actually... Well, it kind of means that they will take 6, because they're not gonna block it with 2. This will be indestructible. Another option is to actually give the Chupacabra Echo +2/+0. Oh, but it will be indestructible. They wouldn't block it. I want it to go to graveyard, but I can't do it right now. I could give one of the Marionettes +2/+0. Nah. I'm going to do this. Give the Skull Taker. And I have to understand that they can attack with their own land, so I don't want to be too crazy with my attacks. But then again, I will have the Spike Tail, and I'm gonna have attack with one Death Toucher too. I don't mind blocking with the 2/2. That makes the Skull Taker get another counter again. And these Death Touchers were so important here. Okay, exile a tapped creature. That works against the Death Touch thing, but you know, it's a creature I don't mind them exiling. I also want them to use their card so that I don't have to be afraid of some crazy bomb they're suddenly playing. They really don't have any attacks. Fungal Fortitude. Now that is great with the Echo, but they can kill the Fortitude while it's on a creature, so it's actually not that good until these things die. So I think it's rather easy. Again, I will attack with the Marionette. It will trade with the 2/2 at some point, but they will be double blocking, and again I can't really use the Fortitude for good effect here necessarily. Well, I guess I can, because if they sack the other to kill the Fortitude, the other one is gonna die. I guess that's the best use for the Fortitude I have. Unless they have like another one of these exile things. That would be the worst. If they have that. But I'm gonna maybe play around. Not play around that. Because now this becomes a 7/6. I mean, and that comes back. Oh, but the bad thing is it's actually not going to kill both of them. Yeah. It's not gonna kill both of them. So it's actually quite bad. Yeah, well, I let it die then. I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back. Defossilize that thing. I don't get to benefit from the effect, but I get to benefit from... Oh! That is one of the things I hate to see. I even couldn't use the buried treasure in here. I mean, I went from actually winning the game to probably having a very bad time here now. Oh, this is so bad now. I mean, I had like a decent million. And they had a rare that exiles my entire graveyard. And they have now a Jedlight Spelunker hitting into how many non-lands? And the Colossus Dactyl coming up. Just like that. And of course, because most of my lands are still remaining in my deck, I can't do anything. I mean, another chance can get me the Echo back, but it's not even gonna help me that much. This was like the most horrible thing I've seen in a while. A 3/3 does nothing really here. I'm gonna attack with like one of these. I don't have though. If they attack with everything, well, I guess I can trade with the Spelunker here. So, I mean, this thing also has basically Death Touch. If I have mana up for it, I wanna deal some damage. But and they have the creature land still here too. Oh, I mean, this flanker exiling my graveyard. It was such a horrible thing. I did not know that. Well, how could I know, of course, that there's no way. Okay. I guess my another chance will be somewhat useful here at least. Now maybe me attacking with the thing was a mistake, but I wanted them to do some attacks here. I'm just thinking if I'm supposed to kill the Brontodon instead of the Spelunker here. Because the Spelunker can be annoying with the Fortitude. And I mean not that, but the Brontodon. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of that. Take 8, go to 8. I'm so demoralized by that. I mean, it was a rare effect. It was not something you can expect to happen. Well, I'm gonna try to make this thing work. Now that they didn't play, they didn't have the mana for this. I guess did they tap their mana wrong, or they didn't just have the lands for that? Yeah, that's fine. Get rid of this guy. And now do they have the forest? Yeah, now they can play that. So I need... Well, there's the leech at least. But this is actually going to attack as a 5-6 thanks to this thing. And this also has trample, so... what I need to do here is... I go to 7 by attacking, right? Then I will take 5 from this guy when they... And I blocked it because I need a Death Toucher and then I need a good thing. Well, I mean Chupacabra Echo will of course be the other one. Yeah. And of course if they have something in their hand, they might even just win on the next turn. But I have to do what I have to do. I'm not gonna mill anything. I have 10 cards left in the deck. So Echo and a Marionette. Although not milling means that this is not going to be quite that. Should I mill too? I don't really want to necessarily. I will be drawing cards with this. I'm gonna decline, right? I'm gonna decline. If they can activate this and get rid of the Marionette, I will just lose. But they will need... No, they have the mana for it. I mean, they have a 9. Activate and attack miss 5 total. They still have 4 mana, so now just... Okay, they did not have it. So, killing this here, because blocking the Trampler would mean I'll lose. Please don't have +3/+3 and Trample. And also I need them to not have... Well, I have the Legion here. And I'm actually going to... make it the Leech into a 5-drop. Not that it's gonna matter though, because I don't have the mana left for this. But what else do I have as an option? This has Trample, so this is not a good blocker. I need the Leech down on this turn, so I will be gaining 1 life in here. I could give this the 4th. Oh, I forgot this will... I will have the mana for the Gargantuan Leech here. I mean, and the Fungal Fortitude, because this can also tap for mana. Because I could now gain 3. But it's just much more... No, I'm not gonna gain 3 here. I'm gonna leave this thing for the Leech. Yeah, like this. This Leech is gonna become my MVP, but let's see what they have. They only need a pacifism effect or something like that. This can be game over. But I did my best, I would say. That's not immediately gonna kill me, and I actually have the Chupacabra Echo to kill that thing. And that's important. Does it matter? I'm gonna gain life here, so this thing can sacrifice another artifact to get a counter, but this will give -4, I mean, this will give -4/-4, so it will die regardless. And then they don't have a way to prevent me from gaining this life. Now, what I could do, I could just play the Fortitude here to, get more life. That's actually something I should do, yeah. I can draw the cards later on. Although I can do it on the next turn. I mean, if I draw a card, I still have mana for the Echo and the Fortitude. That's right. Alright. Let's get a... God, this costs life, but... Yeah, not gonna mill, this is also optional, gladly. Not gonna fetch a land either. So I need to do this right now. Let's just use this here. Right. Hopefully they don't have a pump effect on the Thunderhawk. They can use their own ability, but that's it. Okay. So now I think I am in a decent shape. Maybe they will double block this. Oh, that would be so amazing if they double block it. But they know that's not the way to victory. So I go to 7. I have a 3 blockers. I think I should not use the Fortitude now, because these 3 blockers hopefully will work here. Decline this. Okay. 7 cards. I can draw some cards and I should maybe be winning. The Kuzil is good. I can't cast spells on their turn, and then, well, they don't have any enhanced creatures. And now they do have to actually do a block. I'm gonna draw the card first. Okay, that's gonna get me back. Still a relevant thing. It's a permanent, but still there will be relevant pickups in here. So if I attack with the Echo, the Leech and the Echo, they block the Echo with the 4/5. The Fortitude will be great there. They can, triple block this thing, but I will get it back anyway. So I actually think I'm going to do this attack. Just force damage through. They can't. They are down to 10, so they need to start doing some stuff. Yeah, this is like very, 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 very good for me, because I will have enough. Yeah. To kill the Kuzil here. They will lose now. I was so desperate when they... I mean, they might still have a Wrath effect, but I was very desperate once they... I'm gonna save this guy. They exiled my stuff and I was down to... Well, down to a lot less than I would have been otherwise. Okay, they got the minus guide wing, that's not helping. Okay, now I just need to win quickly. I don't use this. This is reveal the top for you. Yeah, this is kill yourself card now. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to draw a card. Let's see what they do with the blocks. Okay, they want to understandably get the Explore trigger for the 1/1. Now my life total is good enough. Yeah, the Leech was just a nice one. Okay, Dawn Runner is not gonna help them. They still keep that on top. What does that mean? I don't care what it means. I'm gonna just take something here back and just get a lethal attack on the next turn. The most damage, I guess, is gonna be the Kin Caller here. I could have gotten the +2/+0, but... Okay, I used 15 minutes for this first game. I need to start playing faster, but I should win on the next turn. I just jam attack all. Yeah, I should win. I mean, if it goes to game 3, I should just play a little bit faster, that this kind of stuff don't repeat. But now I know they have the annoying rare in their deck. That means that does mean my reanimating strategies are gonna be a lot worse. But they are one of the strengths of the deck. But they can just respond to that stuff. I don't know what this is for. Maybe just to accelerate into the Thunderhawk, but maybe they just could play another land or something. Bedrock Tortoise. Well, my Death Touchers really showed this thing that it doesn't do anything. Okay, the Thunderhawk. It's annoying to try to exile or kill it with the over the edge, but I mean, at least then you don't immediately lose. You have to kill that thing before they get to attack. Okay, Tithing Blade. Is that... Yeah, it sucks to kill something like the Guide Wing, but there's also a bunch of things I don't mind getting rid of. I think there's like more things I don't mind hitting here. And I'm actually going to play around their annoying rare a bit. Now, Chupacabra Echo might still be bad, but I'm gonna cut the Soul Cold Viper and even the Defossilize. And maybe I'll just have what? There's not much to be had, like Canonized in Blood. Is that gonna do something? I could try it, you know, because this doesn't care about having a big graveyard. It just cares about whether you descended that turn or not. They can exile my graveyard all they want. Let's actually... Oh, not that. Let's give it a chance. How about the 3-3? I was thinking about that, but probably not the greatest. They have so many 3-4s that the 3-3s just doesn't match with it. I actually wouldn't mind having one of the random equipment. Yeah, the over the edge just don't have too many targets, so I think this is the deck. I will still use the one treasure thing here. Yeah, but I'm not going to sideboard in the over the edge just because of the 7-drop artifact, which it doesn't even, you know, deal with cleanly. But like I said, it's still better to deal with it less than in a clean way than just lose to it. On the draw with this kind of hand, but I guess the Vayne already works with the Echo a little bit, and I have actually 2 caves for this. You know, if I sack this, it still counts for the leech. So I'm gonna keep it. I just need to, you know, draw some early drops here. That's like kind of a early drop. I suppose I have a turn 2 action here, not the greatest ever, but I can add to my, you know, descent count here. They get to attack and have a freeze cry for that reason, because I can't really even trade with it. Let's see if they have a 3-drop. They can't play the Brontodons, which I saw, because it's a double green card. Alright, well, they had so far nothing. They could still have, you know, the forest. Yeah, I'm gonna get the swamp. They could have the rare. It has flash. Now, well, I have a fairly easy turn here. I'm not gonna reveal them that I have the Chupacabra Echo mana. Just let's see what they do if they... It's not the rare, at least not yet. Okay, now they have a Brontodon mana. I wonder if they're gonna play it, because if they are, it seems like they could have had it on the previous turn but didn't have the mana for it. Yep, I'm pretty sure. Creature and a land. You don't have to take them. Sometimes you might see like a land you don't want to have, because that would, you know, increase your descent count. And my hand has 4 additional lands. So if I take just a creature, you can't take 2 creatures. It's only up to 1 creature and up to 1 land. But that will give me a bigger descent count, and it's currently 1. If I mill 3, my Echo will just kill the Brontodon, unless they have something for 1 white. And I actually also think that the Marionette is more important in this matchup. So I'm gonna play that. Okay, I'm gonna mill 3. This, because this is a permanent. I will have Echo for 4. They have priorities because they can, you know, activate that to kill their own Sunscribe. Okay, that was a nice 2 for 1 there. And I don't think I'm gonna miss the land here, because I have enough land drops here already. And I suppose I'm gonna trade. It's not like this is gonna trade with too many things, and I don't want them to keep scrying for free, so let's just do this. So this is gonna give me a spider into... Yeah, the Death Toucher, for example, works against that. Yeah, I bet they're gonna leave that on top. I did lose my fortitude thing here. But yeah, I needed to also play faster, so let's play faster. Here I'm still playing the 4, although No, I'm not gonna do that. Also not gonna mill anything anymore because they might exile my graveyard and I don't want to give them any more value. This is a Sandwing. Sure. That's not a bad one. So if they don't have a kill on this thing, I can actually do some nice work with it. But they have a petrify. Sad. Oh well. I'm happy they did the trade, but they had a reason for it, I'm sure. Bury treasure into... Oh, I just have to play the spike tail here. I have my Brontodon, which can get rid of the petrify. And the spider is a 3-4, it can block the Sandwing without dying. But they also might get the 7-drop rare now. And that would mean... Okay, they did not have that. Kinjali Stone Runner, alright. I'm not really in a... Okay, they get another flyer. That's too good. That is too good, but I get my Chupacabra Echo back. But the problem is they might exile my graveyard, but... Is there anything else I can do? I'm gonna attack here. Maybe they will go for some kind of double block, but that's really unlikely. I am going to... not mill here. I could play this, but also I might not... I'm not gonna play it now. I really hate that they might have the rare to you know... Oh yeah, this will trade here, so I suppose... No, I need to... I can't trade away the spider, I need to block the 3-5. And I need to kill the 4-4 with my Chupacabra. If it works. I think they won't have mana for this and the rare now that they attack with those both. Okay, I go to 6 unless they pump that. Oh, why? Oh, I'm such a bad player. Why I forgot this ability? I just... And you know what I also forgot? That I can't cast spells on their turn. I totally forgot, but I considered this as a 3-3 vanilla. So, I made multiple mistakes there. But, I mean, I have to still continue with the game. I'm going to... mill now because I might get something better. I did not, but Chupacabra Echo and the Goblin, I guess, are the things. Oh boy, I made just ridiculous mistakes there, but and they just got 2 free cards. Anyway, I'm not gonna be able to attack. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, and they have the land, of course, now that so my spider isn't even gonna be able to block very well. Oof. I guess I deserve this loss now. At least I will have 10 minutes for the final game, but what a foolish... I mean, I just thought this is a 3-3. It's such a... Although, to my defense, the effect on a random uncommon that your opponents can't cast spells during their turn. That is, of course, not a very common effect, so I do understand kind of missing that interaction. Well, I see relevant information. I'm gonna bring back the... I'm not bring back, but bring in the Pilgrim. But yeah, what I should have remembered is that they get cards when they, you know, deal damage with creatures that have power enhanced somehow. So giving them 2 free cards was horrible. My reasoning was still legit because I thought that I can trade with this thing in the ground and, you know, keep blocking the Sandwing. But of course what I was supposed to do is not just attack with the spike tail. I was in no position to start racing there. just leave these as a blocker on the 3/3 and the double striker. Have these as a blocker in here. Yeah, use of course the another chance on my turn because I couldn't do it on their turn. Alright. Now I will play the over the edge. I saw multiple things that I can deal with it using that card. And then what is the... I will still try the Canonized in Blood. I think the Tithing Blade is good enough. My least useful card is probably the Buried Treasure here, so I'm gonna cut it. Especially because I now cut the, you know, the Defossilize, which was one of my 5 drops. So this is the deck, and let's not make mistakes. I mean, I was not going to be in a good shape even if I didn't make the mistake, but that definitely made my loss happen faster. Okay, this is a very nice hand, I would say. I get the self-mill train going. I have a 2, 3, 4, even the double green for the Brontodon. And these for some gas. Now, of course, I won't have the 4 drop if I don't draw a land, but I suppose that means I draw a bunch of spells. But yeah, 10 minutes is still not the all the time in the world, so I need to be, at least in these early turns, just cut down the chatter and do the only things I have available. Alright, that is gonna be like okay if they might actually do the block, which is great for my Tithing Blade. Or they maybe want the Scry there, but they can't get the Scry unless they deal with this guy. They have a Petrify, and this is my way to, you know, get rid of a Petrify, but no, Brontodon of their own. So, didn't get the land. I guess what I do here is I just hope that they will block the Marionette with the 2/2, and then I get a great Tithing Blade here. Exactly. I could get these 4 lands, but I'm gonna get rid of the Brontodon. They can't even use it in response to kill the Tithing Blade, because, you know, this can still do something relevant. I will craft with a creature and win with the win in 19 turns or so. Okay, that's a good sideboard card, but I actually just have to use my Brontodon on it. I don't want them exiling my graveyard at all with the another chance in hand. Now, if am I gonna try to do this? If I don't have a land in my top 4, it's gonna be annoying, but there has to be a... It could also be an Ender Stabbed land, but I need to have my land drop, so I'm actually gonna gamble a little bit here. Okay, good. I didn't get anything else than the land, but it's still fine, as long as I got the land. It wasn't a divination now, it was just a very expensive cantrip into a land, but it was what I needed to do. And now, of course, you know, I can do this, and they're gonna block here, of course, and there's nothing in with 1 mana. I mean, there is dead weight though. Yeah, they could consider that if they block now and I dead weight it, it's good for me. They haven't seen a dead weight, so I could understand them not respecting that possibility. And they have seen most of my cards because they, especially in the first game, they saw almost my entire deck. Alright, so the tortoise, it would have been nice to have the Tithing Blade on that. But yeah, that is actually very bad news. I have a Death Toucher for that thing, so you know, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take a Death Toucher. I'm gonna mill 2. I don't think I need to. Okay, I'm gonna mill 2. I'm gonna get the Marionette and the Scavenger, of course. This thing, does this thing need to mill? I don't know, maybe it doesn't. I mean, I would mill otherwise, but they can exile my graveyard, and I don't want to go to a too low library here. Let's see if they have the Petrify. They do have the Prairie again. I haven't really had a chance to actually make this work because I don't have the time to play it. Okay, they got a pretty good stuff back with that thing, but not too concerned. The Spider is like the biggest thing to get back with the Scavenger. Oh, there's a Brontodon of my own. Sure. I don't get to trigger this thing right now, so I'm gonna just play the scampering thing and Echo of Dusk. Get me AR. There's a here. Is there a black one here? Oh yeah, it is. Now this doesn't do anything because I haven't descended. Won't be descending here this turn. Alright. 7 minutes 40 seconds. This seems like a long game. And you know, transforming this doesn't make any sense because they can also exile the, destroy the transformed version. It's just an artifact, so I'm not doing that. Okay, they have a clock now. I have a clock almost. I just need to... I guess I don't know what I can do yet, but let's just... I mean, I could even consider attacking with the marionette. They would just take one and then they have a good attack back, but if they attack with this thing, the thing is that my 5/5 lifelinker can... I mean... It's just this one damage. It's not gonna be worth it. I need to find my Chupacabra Echo, I believe. Petrify in there. Oh, they had the Petrify. And I have the Prontodon in here, but I already used my... way to bring it back. This is the only one, because I sideboarded the other ones out. Oh, there's the Coatly Scavenger. I was mistaken, yes. This can get the Prontodon back. It doesn't help by itself. But it's a game plan. It is a game plan. But the thing is, I'm not gonna use the Prontodon yet. I need to combine it with the Canonized in Blood. But I might as well play this. I haven't triggered Descent yet. Yeah, this thing is doing work. This 06, I mean, it's gonna prevent my attacks here. But I have a game plan. So the point is that I'm not gonna sack this end of their turn or anything like that, but if I can make this into a 6/6, that is going to be okay. I also need to find a kill spell on this. I guess I have my boulder too. Yeah, they have time to play their expensive flyers because I am not doing anything, and this thing is gonna doing work. All right, so I can do this and the Promising Wain, I suppose. Spiketail, no. This is a little bit weird, but I can't explain everything I'm thinking because of the lack of time. And I made a mistake immediately because of that. That's also because I was supposed to do this on my turn. Oh boy, that's horrible. I just miss out on a counter, that's the thing. And I'm taking 9 here. Yeah. Okay, I think I made a huge mistake, but... Yeah, I was supposed to use the Promising Wind. I'm not sure what I'm... But I have the Spiketail, so there is that. Although what they... Oh, it's not gonna work. They have the Prontodon here. They can block and sack. Yeah, okay, well, if they see it, I'm dead. And of course they do. I might deserve this. I have made so much mistakes in this entire match that it's not even funny anymore. They can actually also block and sack with the Vanguard of the Rose. Yeah, I needed this thing to get trampled somehow. But all they need to do is block with the Prontodon and kill the Canonized in Blood, because that is actually what they want to kill. Or maybe the Scampering Surveyor. But as this thing doesn't have trample, I'm going to die now to their air attack. Yeah, I don't deserve a win in this match. I was... Well, this is actually the reason I don't record my Arena Open runs, because I'm actually recording this draft after finishing on the Arena Open on the last weekend. This is the Monday after that. I got to day 2 and I even got to draft 2 there, but didn't quite get to the money. I got the 15,000 gems, so I was 1 win away from the money prizes. But the thing is that if I would have recorded that, I would have made mistakes that would have prevented me from even reaching the draft 2, because there were so tight matches there that I had to just think and think and think. That the fact I'm explaining my plays is hurting my gameplay for sure, but it's not such a big deal in such a normal draft event. But that's the reason you don't see me uploading those Arena Open videos. It's better for me to keep focusing on nothing else than the game itself. Okay, it's fine because I can get the swamp with this thing. I will miss out on my 2 drop. No, well, I would if I play the Capybara, the opponent mulligans. Well, let's see. And who knows, maybe my next draw will be swamp. But I think the Capybara would be the play regardless over the Marionette. Now that I did not draw the land, and especially because I drew the Viper, I will just use the Spike Tail on the turn. I don't want to miss my 3rd land drop, and I can avoid it by doing this. Okay, blue-black. So do they have the deck I was kind of going for in the draft first? So let's see if they're gonna kill. They have 1 turn cycle to kill this. Dead weight does not work, but the -5/-5 will work if they have a swamp here. Or Tithing Blade will work. There are many things. Treasure map does not. I miss out on the trigger, but I guess a 5/6. Although, yeah, it's not the greatest given that they have the Death Toucher. Okay, let's consider otherwise. I mean, the Death Toucher is just invalidating my 5/6 totally. So I'm going to offer the trade instead. That way I get a counter on the Skull Taker. If they wouldn't have blocked, then I would have just played the 4-drop. But with the double of Marionettes here, I'm actually going to get to keep growing this. I just hope they don't kill it, because I don't have many other threats going on. I guess this will be a 4-3, this is just a 3-2. Okay, scrying in the main phase. Maybe they have a explore or a card draw effect. Scry at the top. Okay, nothing like that. There it is. Okay, defossilize, not bad at all. They can't block, this thing has menace, but let's mill with this and then play the Capybara. Yep. Capybara is online and I will get the 2nd counter here. That's slightly annoying, but I guess... Oh, they have a 3rd color and now this flips, so they will have the treasures and they can use them for card draws, of course. So I kind of hope they go for using them for mana and just playing this like on this turn. I don't mind. It's actually annoying against my defossilize, but whatever. Now I will be well, I can attack with the Marionette. I can attack with the Capybara, but they can just bounce off here. They can also block it with the Necromage, which I wouldn't mind really. But my defossilize might be just without targets as long as the Pilgrim is there. Am I willing to trade the 4-3 here? I guess I am. I kind of want the trigger to happen for the Skull Taker, and of course if I just attack with the Marionette it might not happen. Okay, they want to get rid of the Death Toucher. Whatever, this is totally fine for me. They were not afraid of any tricks, by the way. I could have had it. Maybe they saw that I haven't. You know, I know I auto pass the priorities. Alright, I could take here, I guess the black one. Now this is a 5-5, so it can no longer be blocked by the Pilgrim, and these things can't block at all, so let's hope they don't have a removal on the Skull Taker. I'm still, of course, relying on the Skull Taker to deal the damage here. So they have now still a lot of mana and a lot of cards. Let's see what they do. I do want them to tap out so that they don't have 2 mana left, so that I can use my Defossilize at least on something. Petrify in there. So much of that plan, and they still have mana up. Okay, so this is horrible. Oh man, this is horrible indeed. They just keep exiling my stuff there. And my only damage source is gone. This is absolutely horrific. I mean, the Pilgrim is... Why I'm playing this against these decks that have Graveyard Hate? This deck is not... I mean, this archetype is a bit risky to draft anyway, because it's not so easy to, you know, beat the most aggressive decks with this. And then I'm getting these slower decks, yes, but also decks with Graveyard Hate. Defossilize is a complete blank right now. I can't attack with the 3-2, and I can't attack with the Capybara. I guess I can attack with the Capybara, you know, because now I will, you know, have these pauses in here, so maybe they will be scared, but they are not scared. Fine. All I need here is like a dead weight post-combat, but they don't care. I'm gonna need to get something here. Give more stuff for them to... Oh, another chance would have been nice. I could have somehow responded to their abilities, but too late for that. 2 instants go there, alright. Well, I do have the 3-3, which means that in the current board state I can actually attack and deal some damage. The Petrify that they are splashing, that was unpleasant. It does, by the way, you know, put the stuff on the bottom of my library. It doesn't, in fact... It does not, you know, exile them. And now I have an opening, they have only 1 mana left, so I should bring something back. Nothing here is good though. Oh boy, everything is horrible. And this 6-7 is gonna make it... I have no way to win anymore. The 6-7 actually blanks like everything I have. Except the Skull Taker that would have, you know, been able to grow. But I have to get the... you know, the Explorers here. Let's take the Echo of Dusk, you know, it will be at least something. Although it won't be that great, because they will exile my graveyard, but whatever, I had to do something. The Pilgrim is just killing my game plan, and this 6-7 makes it so that I can't even have any good attacks here. This 5-5 is laughable compared to the 6-7. But they still have 1 card draw there left. It feels like I'm gonna waste the next 10 minutes here without much of a chance. Because, I mean, what are my good draws in the deck? It's this thing, for example, for this late game situation. I can get my Capybara thing, but they just have mana to keep putting all the stuff to the bottom of my library. I will not hit a Descent count. That's gonna be enough for like the Brine Fang, which, you know, would be totally possible to do with this deck otherwise. 7 is no big deal. I had more than 10 in one of my games. But the Pilgrim is the problem number 1. Well, they have a Cliff Bridge. Actually, that's like pretty weird, because I have the Leech coming up. I suppose they have a means to deal with the... It's sad that my deck doesn't have anything that can even punish this. I don't have pump effects or the dead weight I was talking about. I mean, this is the only relevant play I have. I assume they deal with the Leech with something. Because the board, I had more creatures, but they actually had it stabilized. Maybe they wanted to just play the 5-3. I mean, this will eventually become a 5-3. They have no artifact in here, other than the Pilgrim. Wow, these crafts with an artifact. They have the double white here up. Oh, by the way, they are playing double white in this deck, so it's not just a splash of white. It's like a more heavy commitment to white. But I mean, they have to have an answer on the Lich. I can't imagine them wrathing the board because they knew the Lich is coming. Wasn't that an Explorer? Yes, it was an Explorer. Okay, that's not good enough. Did they actually make it so that... Okay, now I understand. And they have a Charter Course coming. Yeah, that's the reason they wrathed. The 5-5 does nothing here. Oh, actually I was even wrong about that. I could have actually played the Fortitude to kill this, but now my my tiny 5-5 is nothing against the 8-9 here. Alright, and they have a Charter Course. Let's see if this gives me something like a Chupacabra Echo. I get a Capybara. Does nothing. Alright, let's just play quickly. I mean, this is... I can't imagine I'm gonna win unless the opponent makes some clear mistakes. The cliff on there is... Don't even need to care about it. I guess I hope they attack with the 8-9. That would be my best, but they don't need to, because they can... Okay, they did. Because they could just clock me in the air. But what I'm doing here is, of course... just doing this. See what happens here. They will kill 2 of my guys, and I will save the Lich. I will try to. Oh, they can respond to this trigger with the Unknowing. They can actually respawn by using the Pilgrim. But I'm actually desperate enough to just not even care. I mean, this will go to graveyard and then it will create a triggered ability. They will respond with the Pilgrim and I will concede, probably. Yeah, this Pilgrim just killed my game plan entirely. It wasn't even the rat in here. All they have to do is use the ability right now. Now. Do it. And I will concede, because there's nothing I can do against the 5-4. Well, there's maybe something, but okay, fine. I won't concede, but, you know, I just, 2 for 1 myself, of course, but I just thought that it was my only chance that they miss out on that interaction. Yeah, it's on the bottom of the deck. And I don't have my... I got an excellent draw, but it doesn't get me anything back. I needed my Chupacabra. Okay, let's go to the next game. I can't do anything here. I mean, looking at the life totals, it seems like I still have a couple of turns, but what they have is... Okay, I can block the Pilgrim with the Spider. They have the 5-4, and I don't have anything to push through. They just drew 2 cards. They still have 2 caves for more gas. It's just not gonna work out. And I'm gonna need to get over the edge. The Pilgrim must die. I will play the Tithing Blade. They had 1 card that's really bad against it. The Necromage. Especially if they have the tokens around. But I'm still playing the Tithing Blade. It's another removal spell that I could use. The Buried Treasure goes away. What else goes away? Well, I don't really like cutting anything more, but I guess something like the Capybara could be. Maybe the Fortitude this time. Okay, I'm gonna cut the Fortitude. Let's do this. Okay, I will get something with the Tithing Blade. And I have at least 1 cave for this thing, and this Spider Chupacabra combo, well, especially with the in the presence of ages, will be doing something. Okay, they for some reason choose to... Well, first of all, that's annoying because it kind of makes the Tithing Blade very bad, but why would they play this as like a 1 drop? I mean, I would have understood understood actually if they had a Chardic horse there, but they did not. Alright. Get the land. So yeah, the 1-2 is, I mean, I didn't see this thing. That's really annoying because it's such a nice way to kind of nullify this almost entirely. Still no place. Okay, I'm gonna need a well, forest is the only land, but I'm out of these options. I think I might even go for the Echo of Dusk. Sure. And go for the spider. More mills, please. Okay. Well, now my Tithing Blade actually does something. I'm just thinking if I'm supposed to use that or the Echo now. I mean, not the Echo, but well, this is also an Echo, because both work. But Tithing Blade allows me to play the 3-3. Okay, I'm gonna attack first because I think I still wanna connect here. They might get something from the Discover that prevents this attack while I would have wanted to do the attack. So yeah, let's do this now. They sack that thing and they get a Discover 3 out of this. And it is going to be a Stalactite Stalker. Not a good card, but not like the greatest card right now. Play my 3-3 life linker here. This can kill a thing. This can give -X, but it scales based on its power. I can make the Tithing Blade happen to slowly clock them. Okay, they just want to draw cards there. Alright, well that's good news for me. They didn't even attack for 1, it has menace, they could have done that. That 1-3 isn't going to... Okay, well let's see. I need to actually... Well, they don't have mana to now... Okay, I can just finish it off with the Echo. Let's do that. Because they don't have mana to pump it, so they will just block one of these guys, go to 14. And I can just finish them off. Now they could have the Wrath effect, but what can I do? At least I have the I still have some gas left. And I wanna deal as much damage I can, because the Tithing Blade might be even a winning card here. If they don't have a means to destroy an artifact. No Cliff Bridge there, but they get to draw 2 cards in here. Also annoyingly, they can kill all of these without losing that. Am I gonna sacrifice one of these creatures to you know, make them go to 8? And then play the leech, make them answer that, and then probably on the next turn use the Tithing Blade. Yeah, I do think that's worth it. I would maybe do this if I didn't have the Tithing Blade here. But with this, I want to make them go to low life total so that they will be pressured here. They can still have the Rat, but... Well, I hope they don't have it. They did draw 2 cards there. Okay, another Bentisar. Now they have a... Now I understand they might not have a lot of early game. They have a lot of expensive cards. But let's see now what I could do now. I could attack with everything and they would double block the leech and then take 6. Or no, they would actually have to block these 3/3s and then take the leech. And then they go to 3, then I can do this. I go to 27. Can even play the marionette here. I'm gonna go all in with the Blight. If they get life gain, or if they get If they get life gain or if they get a way to destroy the artifact, I'm gonna lose. But I think this is the way I'm supposed to do here. This leaves me with 5 mana and this requires 5 mana. I can still mill here. Oh, this Grasping Shadows would have been good. I think I can use the second. I have a Capybara, 4/3, Marionette. Something will be exiled. I think the Viper is just not a card I'm gonna bring back. Alright, so now they have basically 3 of my upkeeps. Unless they kill this or gain life. They of course still have the board to deal with, but it's not really a difficult board to deal with the stuff they have. But they have, 7 cards in their hand. They drew 2 and then drew 2 again. Petrify is fine. Council of Echoes can bounce that thing. I suppose they have to, it's not the end of the world. Just trade here. Because they will sack one of these and then I get to immediately do it again. Yeah, I've seen worse bounces. I mean, worse in terms of... it wasn't so bad for me. Alright, so... boom. I have 2 of these marionettes, so I can exile the second one. They have a 4/4 flyer here though, and I have no more life gaining. Unless I draw, I could draw them. I have 2 cards still, I believe. The Brontodon and then the 2 mana sorcery I sideboarded in. Okay, defossilization. They have the ancient one. They can mill me out with that thing. That's actually really good against me because I'm self-milling. And then they can use this to just mill me more. It's pretty amazing actually. Yeah, I mean, just my deck just gives them the time. Look at the, they have a cheap spells too. It's not all expensive, but I have seen in this game already 3 6 mana creatures. Yeah, I might not. I think they will mill me out with this thing because they have the mana. I need my Chupacabra Echo. Is it even enough to kill the 8/8? Yes, it is. So I can. Well, this has a higher chance to find it, right? So 1, 1, 1, and that's it. Chupacabra Echo. Come on. Thrashing Brontodon. Didn't get a land, but it doesn't matter. The Spike Tail doesn't do anything. This will trade, but it's actually more important to maybe gain life. I don't know. This will. I'm sure they can just crack. Yeah, they can crack a. I mean, I think when they bounced this for one, they prevented one of these effects from happening, and it's now enough. Because I'm not losing on the next turn, but I'm losing on the turn after that. I can play the frog. And I can play the surveyor. That's a thing. But I'm facing 18 here. I'm facing more than that. It's gonna have to be the Brontodon. Oh man, this is so annoying. If I had more, I don't know. I can block the ancient one and then, sack the Petrify, prevent the 8 damage here. But I just assume they're gonna have a way to deal with the... Yeah, this is not going to... They're gonna make this Echoes guy into a 6/6 flyer also. Okay, that's like barely gonna matter. That having vigilance is not so big of a deal. Glyph. Wait a minute. 2 glyphs. What the? And yeah, I could have responded with the Prontodon, but I don't think it matters. Now, can I win with the... I'm not gonna lose here, am I? Oh, this is 15. So I can win with the removal spell, maybe. It gets a counter, but still a Chupacabra Echo will actually allow me to win, I think. Assuming they have... Well, they have only colorless mana. Well, they have one colored mana here. Okay, they go to one. Chupacabra Echo is probably the only one I can have. The Surveyor is absolutely doing nothing. So, I mean, Discover 4 is gonna help. They go to 1 with me, having this here. Okay, let's do this. And let's go over the edge. Explore twice. It's not helping me. Destroying an artifact or enchantment is not helping me. Exploring twice is all I can do, but it's not gonna help. Because they have, you know, the amount of... I couldn't even make this into a 7/7, so I go to 11. Oh, you are kidding me, right? If I got this into a 7/7, I actually would have... I guess they would have still milled me out or something, but... I mean, the Capybara is not doing anything. Because, you know, I can have this as a blocker. They have to block this now. So if I leave this to block the... Wait a minute. So if I attack, they have to block. I go to 11, but then this won't be able to block. And I play... The point is, the Surveyor is gonna block this and I take exactly 11. So I lose. That's not a winning game plan there. But if I play the Surveyor, I can block this and the 6/6. And I will be at 11, taking 10. I mean, this is all assuming they have nothing. This is all assuming they have nothing in their hand, and that they can't also... I'm gonna actually decline this because I don't want to get milled. So the ancient one has 2 activations. But if they have nothing to interact with, or, you know, anything that dies because the Soul Cleaver is going to trigger... yeah, I mean, if they have 3 lands in hand. No, they have a Captivating Cave. That's also gonna work for them. I mean, I was lost. I had lost this anyway. Captivating Cave is gonna win the game. I'm tapped out and they have all the perfect information, so... Okay, they actually go for that instead. Maybe they know they can mill me out by ditching expensive cards. Yep. That's the more, you know, more fun victory here, so... Let them have their fun with the mill win. But they actually had to win on the Council of Echoes. You know, just keep +1/+1 counters, but... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Even I kind of missed that interaction. It's an upkeep trigger. Okay, that finish of the game makes this video worth having on YouTube, despite all the, you know, mistakes I've made. I just didn't even remember myself that this will trigger into upkeep, so them decking me out is not gonna help when they are at 1. So the Consuming Sepulchre was the MVP in this game. I don't know if I don't even care if I lose the final game here, because there's still 1 game left. But that was... The opponent wanted to do the fun win, and I didn't even realize it myself that it's not gonna work. And they had the 100% lethal. There also just wanted to get the mill happen. All right, I need to somehow win before... I mean, I don't care about really the Eclipse too much. It's not that great against my deck. But I need ways to push damage. So I need like Fungal Fortitude and the 3-drop just to have something around. I don't need anything that's like a very slow. I do like the milling things there. I could see Soul Coil Viper. I mean, this kind of make me a fast attacker. That's the thing. Grasping Shadows. Well, this helps me push through with any creature over the edges still, I think, and it's good against, Petrify and stuff like that. Tithing Blade I don't like anymore because they had the 1-2 of gold. I guess I could see not playing one of them in the presence of ages. Or maybe one. I'm gonna maybe cut one of Marionette, even though the milling is good. I need more. I mean, I need bigger things than one once because clearly they have the late game victory. So I need to win quicker. So having a 2-mana 1/1 is not what I'm that interested in. Okay, this is fine. Especially with this. I don't think the life gain here is gonna matter too much. Maybe they have some kind of an aggro start that it will matter. But we'll see. Well, they do have the aggro start. I mean, I kind of forgot they have 2 Exotic Glyphs. It seems like they are doing like stuff that... they're doing 2 different things. They're playing a Exotic Glyph, but they're also having those 6 drops. But I mean, they have enough artifacts to make this into a very good card. I'm not saying it's wrong to play the Glyphs. It's always great to play if you have like, I don't know, 6 or more artifacts that are good targets. But while I have the Brontodon here, they have now their own Marionette. Now, it wouldn't be a problem if they didn't have this 5/4 here doing things. Well, it's kind of easy to just do this. I was thinking about having the Grasping Shadows, but it's of course not going to work now. I'll just deal with the Siren and they get to do their Discover 3. The Echo will be good enough to kill the Marionette. But now, once they hit like 6 lands, they have already a cave in here. Their 6/6 start doing things. Yeah, the Cliff on... I mean, this was just a dream start for them. They were on the play. And they had a turn 2 Oaken Siren with a turn 3 Cliff. That's as good as it gets. Okay, Offering. Do they want to use it for value? Yes, they do. I don't actually mind this too much because the Death Toucher was annoying. Now it's no longer there. And I can maybe try to make my things work here. And if they have the 6/6 guys, okay, the second Cliff. Fine, be that way, annoying opponent. I don't like you at all. Well, let's do this. I won't, if they block, which I assume they might do, that means I don't have an attack for the next turn. But still, what were my options? Not playing the Echo there, of course. Okay, Braki's Plunder is something they at least can't, cast for value, so it wasn't so bad to discover into that. And at least I've dealt with the Cliffs now. Charge, of course, just being a draw 2, discard 1. And my Echo is now dealing with 2 toughness creatures. Yeah, I have means to push through their big stuff. I don't have a means to push through that though. Well, I'll take 8. I need my Death Toucher now. I side put it one of them away. Okay, well this was really a difficult match, of course, because you know what they get there. They get the freaking 2-mana 8/8 on turn. I don't know what turn it is, but after playing both of the Cliffs, it's really nasty stuff here. I need to draw my Death Toucher and I need them to not have an answer for it. They already get the white mana here, so they can use a Petrify. Oh boy. Now there is one way if I draw a land and they have nothing. Okay, well first of all let's see if they do anything, because I actually have a Chupacabra Echo win here. As a thing that's a possible way to kill this guy. No, I was wrong. It's only gonna work if I'm gonna play this on a... it's too much to ask. I will survive this attack. So I was thinking that if I have this as a 3-2, I will play the Fortitude to block this. It will take 5 damage. Then this comes back, and you know the Fortitude goes to my graveyard. I will have Descent 3, and it will be -X on the 8-8 that took 5 damage, which would be the exactest, but that is huge risk to do that. I think what I'm gonna do here is just play a couple of creatures and probably use the Capybara to just block here. You know, gain 8 life. Wow. They had a counter spell on that, and they didn't even counter the first one here. You know, they were confident I'm not gonna... Imagine if I did not play anything after the Capybara, like, you know, have like an instant on their turn. Well, they didn't. They were not afraid. Yeah, they can bounce that. I take 8. Do I die now? Yeah, this game has been very difficult when they had 2 glyphs in here. I wish I had a wins to, you know, exile the opponent's graveyard. It would be very useful to make this unable to attack. Anyhow. I don't want to do the risky player that I explained because it's too obvious that they can just do just about anything to deal with it. So if I attack with this, I go to 6. The Fortitude won't even help. If I go to 8, I still die to this thing. This will flip. I will have 7 mana. So I can have a Capybara, Echoing Dusk. And another chance, actually. Alright, let's do this. Okay. There's still a chance. There isn't a chance. This is at least an exciting game. Despite them having this good start. If they can somehow deal with both of these, of course I just lose, but I hope that's not gonna happen. So I will jump here. And I will jump. I'm not gonna do any... I mean, even if I double block and use another chance, if both of these 3 go online, that's still gonna be only 7 damage. It's not gonna be enough. So I will do this jump here. That's nice. Now I'm now at Descent 4. You know, I'm going to 8 here. And they even played this. Defossilize on the opponent. Come on. Give me a chance. I mean, they had the perfecties there. I don't know. I mean, my deck is clumsy as heck. That's the reason I have such difficulties in here. But now it feels like the opponent just have double cliff in here. They had enough mill effects to make this into a 2 mana 8/8, and now they had the Defossilize on the Brine Fang. Alright. Up to 2 creatures. So if I don't return anything, my Descent is 6 now. That's not making me win. The Fortitude, I would need Death Touching, but I don't have. Oh man, this is so annoying. I don't have 3 green, so I can't even play the double green. I can't even gain life from the Brontodon here. Well, I'm gonna take this regardless, actually. 4-3 is better than 3-3. This is not gonna gain me life. So let's take the Capybara, I guess. But I really wish I mean, imagine if I have an attack here or something. I guess if they block... Alright. There's a chance. This has ward 3, doesn't it? I have 7 mana. Alright, so they block. This goes to graveyard. I have a Descent 5. This has, 8 power with 8 toughness with 3 damage. I can kill it because I have the ward cost here. Then I just have to either take 8 or jump block with the surveyor. Actually, I'm attacking with both. I'm not gonna. I can. Yeah. This is fine. I mean, it's not as fine as I would want it to be, but this is a way to deal with the Brine Fang, and I can consider taking 8 here, because I actually want to. I need to have the echo here to have it with the fortitude. I have enough. Yeah, that will be good. I mean, how are they deal 1 extra damage on this turn? What have I seen? Okay, there's no longer a chance to. Okay, they didn't have the way to deal extra damage. Yeah, I mean that's to be expected that they're gonna have all that. But yeah, I mean the card draw they have here is just. Okay, I mean I have to just understand that now it's not gonna work, and I had high hopes here, but every turn they just play more and more relevant things. I mean I can attack into this and kill it with this. This will enter tapped, in fact. I can return the Echo of Dusk for more. I guess I can return the Thrashing Brontodon, kill the Petrify. Do I have the mana for it? I can't use this because it costs life. I need some life gain too, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna get there. I don't know if it's possible at all to get any life gain. But if I get... No, I'm 1 short. I can't get back the Brontodon. Play the Brontodon, kill the Petrify, and use the Fungal Fortitude. I can't do all that. If I could... No, it still wouldn't really matter. I mean, look at the amount of cards in the hand. I have to be mana efficient here. So I'm gonna return something, then I can play the Capybara and the 3 mana thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna attack here. Block or not, I don't care. I just need to use this. Yeah, they even had the Petrify, and they still, having 5 cards in hand. They have the treasure throw with the 1 treasure here. Oh, they have 1 mana. Am I allowed to concede? I'm done here. They even had that. Well, this was an interesting event. It took too much time again, but there was so much decision points and things to explain. Only 1 win, but funny match 3 game 2 there when the opponent chose to lose when they could have won. I kind of understand, and I know going for the mill win, but yeah, it was funny that the upkeep trigger prevented that from happening. Yeah, definitely this deck isn't the greatest version of this. I didn't have enough synergy for the Defossilized and Soul Call Viper, and of course I had people with Graveyard Hate, which was annoying, but regardless, this deck wasn't the best black-green deck. I also saw many other, build, this signpost uncommons, but none of the black-green ones. So I could have used one of those in this deck, and more black removal. One of the -5/-5 removal spells, 1 dead weight, stuff like that. It was not a great deck, but I don't know how I was supposed to do in the draft. I mean, maybe when I got the blue stuff in the pack too, I should have just shifted there, and by that moment my green cards were really bad. I mean, in the end, I had the Poison Dart Frog, which is such an impressive 2-drop that I really wanted to go with the green, and it felt like green is open, but of course looking at this deck now, the only good green stuff is like the Scavenger, and this is the only good in this deck, Spider, only good in this deck, Brontodon. Yeah, maybe I should have forced the black blue when the pack 2 gave me some blue options, but I stick to green regardless. Alright, well, anyway, let's have my first 1-2 draft on the channel of this set. I have had very good drafts, of course, so it's just natural that sometimes you get these worse results, and hopefully I will get to the winning lane in the next event. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.